In this episode of Dwarf Fortress Starter Fort series, our dwarves are going to start preparing for the first trade caravan, which comes at around mid-autumn. So we have a little bit of time left. We've got most of summer. You can see the season up here, and some of autumn. Trade caravan comes from your main civilization, which we picked in episode 0. It's always a good idea to try and trade as much as you can. It'll help build your fort's reputation and help you attract more migrants. First part is setting up a trade depot. A trade depot is found in the build part, right at the bottom here, trade depot, and you can see it's a fairly large building. I'll be able to put a little stockpile here, put things I trade closer to the depot, which will make things easier. Speaking about putting things closer, I noticed that our dwarf is planting in our farm plot here, which is great, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 stockpiles a little closer. First stockpile here for the seeds. So I'm going to hit accept, go to custom, seeds are under food, and I'm going to say all. And then the trick here is you want to go into here and set the number of barrels to 0. That way only the seed bags will be brought here, which is fine. That's kind of what you want. You'll be able to visually see how many seeds you want. This is a little tricky because if you go back into custom and then go back, these barrels go back up to 9. It can get frustrating. I couldn't figure out why this kept happening. So once you set this to 0, don't click into custom or anything like that. It should be fine. What I am going to do is I'm going to pick which stockpile to get the seeds from. To do that, you select your stockpile, click this button here, and then you've got 2 options: which stockpile this stockpile should give items to, and which stockpile this stockpile should take items from. I'm going to select take from. I'm going to jump to our main stockpile by pressing F2. I'm going to click there. So this will take all the seeds, but hopefully none of the barrels. So it'll just have seed bags. And here we're going to be growing plump helmets only. Later on, maybe on this side, we'll grow a little bit of pigtails. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build another stockpile here and I'm going to tell it to store food. Plump helmets is a plant. And I'm going to search for plump helmets here. There we go. That'll just make sure that the farmer doesn't have far to travel. They'll be able to pick up the seeds from here, store them again here, and put the plump helmets here. In this instance, I do want barrels, so that's perfect. I've set this up, first side quest. I've got a little area here which I'm going to dig out. And the next part to trading, I need things to trade. I'm going to make some more room in our main crafting area. I'm going to set a higher priority on this. So I'm going to set it to 2. The way this works is the higher the number, the higher the priority. So you can change priorities of what you want mined. So by default, the priority is 4. So if I jump back to here, you'll see this has a 4 priority. So this will get mined after anything with a higher number gets mined out. While we're waiting for these things to be mined out, I'm also going to set up a little tavern for the dwarves. That'll give a space for the dwarves to socialize. It'll just make for happier dwarves. We make taverns the same way we make meeting areas here. Essentially, I'm going to add a 5 priority because I want the trade depot to be mined out first. I'm going to mine out a section here. And I'm going to build more or less this shape. There we go, a little bit bigger. Now that this area is mined out, I'm going to make 2 workshops. The first workshop is going to be a jeweler's workshop. Over here. I'm going to make it out of marble blocks. And the next workshop is going to be a crafts workshop. You build workshops with B and O, and the crafts workshop is down here. I'm going to put it closer up here. Also make it from granite blocks. In the jeweler's workshop, we're going to be cutting gems. So when we find raw gems like these, we'll be able to cut them into nicer gems, therefore increasing the value. And in the crafts workshop, we'll be making various crafts, which we will sell to our dwarves. Looking at this stockpile, I've noticed that the dwarves are putting these objects individually. A lot of these objects can go into bins, which will make better usage of the space here. So I'm going to jump to our woodworker's workshop, carpenter's workshop, and I'm going to say make bin. That's a good way to make an individual bin. However, we probably want to have a little bit of an order going. So the same way as in the last episode, I press O to open up the order screen. It's down here. I press the plus button here, and I'm going to look for wooden bins. There we go. And I'm going to move this up a little bit. I like to keep crafts close by, so things made out of wood together, food and things made out of rock together. I'm going to move this rock blocks down because we're going to be making a lot of stuff out of rock, and I'm going to move the brew drinks next to the food. Kind of keeps things organized a little bit for me. This will grow a lot, so it'll be easy to kind of know the food is kind of at the top, the wooden things are in the next category, and then the rock things underneath, metal things after that, and so on. On the wooden bin, I actually want to make about 5 of them, and I only want to make it when the amount of available bins is less than 5. That way we'll always have a few bins. I'm going to have a look at our meals. How many prepared meals do we have? That's great. That's way more than enough for our dwarves for now. Now that our jeweler's workshop is complete, I am going to cut some gems so that the value of the rough gems goes up. You can click stocks here, and then if we go to R, we'll be able to see how many rough gems we have. We've got 11. And if we go to C, we can see how many cut gems we have, which is currently none. It's always good to have leave one or two rough gems in case one of your dwarfs gets a strange mood. We'll talk about strange moods at a later time. So I'm gonna cut, let's call it 8 gems. So in this instance, I'm just gonna, because I only have one workshop here, I'm just gonna say, click on the workshop, click work orders, and say cut gems, and I'm gonna say 8 of them. Nice and simple for now. In the crafts dwarf workshop, we're going to do one really important thing. Dwarves get grumpy if they drink alcohol without mugs. So we're going to click work orders, and we're going to say make rock mugs. And I don't mind having a lot of these. We can always sell some if we have too many. So I'm going to make it 20. This actually generates a multiple. I think it'll be 3. So it might be about 60 rock mugs. I can't remember the exact number. And there we go. We're going to be making some rock mugs and cutting some gems. Now, while we were down here, I noticed that there are more gems here. I'm going to get the dwarves to mine this, but I don't want to have to individually click on each gem to mine it. So the way you can do this is you can click the mine button, and I'm going to click auto. And then I'm just going to click and drag here. This will now mine out the entire vein of gems. I'm also going to remember to put my priority back on default here. I think I'm going to specify another miner. Maybe this metal crafter. I'm going to click on stocks and search for pick. Yep, I've got 3 copper picks, so there should be 1 more pick for that miner. And we've got our space here cut out. I'm going to build the trade depot now. The way you do that is you press B, and then there's a trade depot here, and I'm going to build it in the corner like this. Trade depot requires 3 build materials, and I'm going to pick 3 marble blocks. And we've got our first cut gems. Amazing. I am going to now just let this miner focus on mining only. Got ourselves 3 more gems. That's great. I think we'll cut those as well. So I'm going to say work orders. I like to add a new one. Cut gems. Whoops. And 3. There we go. Just like that. Rock mugs are coming along. So we built a crafts dwarf workshop, and we've got a fishery here. And this fishery, as it prepares mussels, leaves mussel shells lying around. I'm going to use those mussel shells to make crafts, which I'm going to then sell at a profit to the trader. I'm going to click stocks, and shells go under body parts, funny enough. So I say I have 16 mussel shells, so that will allow me to, I'm going to click here, I'm going to go work orders, I'm going to click add, and I'm going to say shell. So you can make a whole bunch of stuff. I just click shell crafts, and I think it randomly goes amongst all the crafts, like figurines, rings, etc. And I'm going to make 16 of those, because we have 16 body part shells. And I've noticed we just got our first migrant wave. So our dwarf population is now up to 15, which is great, except we don't have enough beds for everyone. Dwarves will share beds, but eventually they'll start getting grumpy because they would love to have their own bedrooms. We'll get on that next. One of the things I like to do when I get a migrant wave is I like to press U to see all my dwarves, and I like to see more or less what professions have come along. I also keep my eye open for any flashing dwarves. Those indicate if the name is flashing, it indicates that the dwarf is legendary at something. We didn't get any legendary dwarves now. That's okay. I'm sure they'll become legendary in their own way. So here are all the new arrivals. I'm gonna switch laborers. It's a high master miner. That's really good. And I'm going to change it so that he's focusing on mining more than the others. I've only got 3 pickaxes for now, so I'll only have 3 miners. We still should have enough meals. And I noticed our first bin has arrived in the stockpile. Dwarves should start running around and putting things in bins. I wonder if we've got any new planters. No one. Maybe we'll make the peasant help with the planting. Before I forget, I'm going to put in another work order. I'm going to create another work order for beds. This time, I'm going to make... And I'm going to make 10 beds. I'm going to put in a rule. If the amount of beds available is less than 10, make 10. And I'm going to move this up to be with the wood crafts. Okay, our depot's come up. That's great. We're going to put a stockpile here. And inside this stockpile, I'm going to store finished goods, but not armor, not backpacks, not chains, not this. No. No. I don't want gems near here because sometimes things might get stolen. I don't want anything valuable to be stolen. Kind of like this, not toys. I don't want any toys here. These will be the things we'll be trading most, and gems. But gems I want to keep more further inside the fort. And I want to use, basically this is the type, and then this is the materials that it's made from. So all the materials, but only these types. You'll see on the side here are our notifications. You can get rid of a notification by right-clicking on it. For our tavern, we want some tables and some chairs. So I'm going to say make rock throne. And I think for now 5 will be fine. And I'm going to make rock table and also 5. I'm also going to smooth this tavern out. Smoothing things out makes the dwarves like the area more. Okay, we're making good progress starting our crafts. We are going to be trading sometime in autumn. We've already got a few cut gems to trade, which is pretty cool. I am also going to start mining out some bedrooms for our dwarves. Bedrooms can take many shapes. I like to kind of build them in batches of 10. And I don't forget, yeah, you have to click all, otherwise it'll try and mine out gems and things instead of the instructions you give it. So I like to build it in kind of a shape like this. So it's a square with a room for a door, with room for a door here. I like to make my bedrooms in batches of 10. Oftentimes I won't go for regular shapes like this. However, this makes it easy to track to see how many bedrooms we have. I'm going to build rock doors, 10 of them. And now I'm starting to get a feeling that our rock workshop is going to be pretty busy. So I'm going to build another one. I'm going to cut out a little 3 by 3 block here. Now that the area's mined out, I'm going to BO stone workshop. Let's use marble blocks. So because we've set up the work orders in the work order section, as we add new workshops, the work orders will automatically be added and distributed amongst the workshops. If you see that some of your workshops are busier than others, it becomes easy to expand. Okay, this is smoothed out. So you press Z to go to assign zones, meeting area. Except, and this time, I'm going to click the plus button here and I'm going to assign a new inn or tavern. When you click this magnifying glass, you get a whole bunch of options. For now, I'm just going to click this one. This says that only citizens and long-term residents will use this tavern, meaning that people from the outside won't come into your fort. When the fort population is pretty low, it can be risky to have people coming from outside. Later on, it becomes a little less risky. But even then, I like to build the tavern somewhere outside of my main living areas. I'll quickly check how our table and throne progress is coming along. We've got a few, so I'm going to place that furniture, BF, chair, keep building. I'm going to build it somewhere along the line here. I don't really mind the materials. Build furniture table, BFT. Okay, for now that's what we have. I'm also going to get I forgot to make a rock coffer. I'm just going to build two of these for now. This is where the dwarves will keep the mugs. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put two little stockpiles here. This will be the first one. This will be dedicated to drinks. All drinks, all animal drinks. And the next stockpile here. And this stockpile is going to be dedicated to only prepared meals. None of the other things. The reasons I like to separate this is because sometimes if you put food and drinks in a single stockpile, what will happen is the stockpile will get filled with only food or only drinks. I want both available in here. These areas are mined out. I'm not going to smooth them over for now. Our dwarves are pretty busy. But I am going to have a look at what we've got a few doors. So I'm going to show how we can assign these as bedrooms in an automatic way. So first thing I'm going to do is place the doors. So BPR, use closest material. I've got 3, yep, and I'm going to place the beds. BFB, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to place as many as we have. I'll fill the rest in later. Once you have multiple doors and beds in an enclosed areas like this, you can press the zone, bedroom, and select multi. Then you select the area, and it will automatically create bedrooms for you, so you don't have to worry about individually assigning the bedrooms. There we go. And then when the dwarves place these, dwarves will come and claim them. You can also assign a dwarf if you want. For example, if you want our expedition leader who's getting a little grumpy to have their own room, we can assign it like that. I noticed that the dwarves haven't been taking the seeds from the main stockpile and putting it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to the main stockpile, and I'm going to explicitly forbid seeds. So click on custom, food, seeds, and none. And that did the trick. They're now placing the bags of seeds close to where we're going to be planting them. The dwarves are starting to use the tavern. This dwarf is telling a story. These dwarves are listening to the story. They'll start getting happy thoughts from these actions. Put some more tables down. And put down the chest coffer. This is where the dwarves will store the mugs. We've got 15 dwarves, so let's keep 20 mugs around. So I noticed these stockpiles are also not getting the food, so I'm just gonna tell these stockpiles to get items from the main stockpile. There we go. When we were in the main stockpile, I noticed we've got more doors, so BPR to build the doors. There we go, and BFB to build the beds. And I'll once again click Z, bedroom, make sure multi is selected. Done. And done. There we go. I'm going to cut out another area. We've got 15 dwarves. I'm going to make 15 bedrooms. And with our work order set up, given enough time, we'll always have all the things we need to equip the bedrooms. Later on, we'll make the bedrooms fancier by giving them cabinets and chests. I'll leave this dormitory around for now, in case we get more migrant waves. The first 2 migrant waves are guaranteed. They come through irrespective of how much you've traded. So that helps with your colony. The dwarves are enjoying their bedrooms. Okay, I noticed I wasn't building the doors on the work order, so I don't have any more work orders. So what I'll do for now is I'm just going to press O. I'm going to make rock door, and I'm going to work kind of in the same pattern. So make 10 rock. If the amount of available doors is less than 10, make 10. When we get new migrants, we can be pretty sure we'll have exactly what we need to get some more bedrooms out. Oh, another story. This dwarf is having happy thoughts. sleeping in a good bedroom, which is great. Later on, we'll make the bedrooms even better for them. I think for now, the amount of workshops is fine. We haven't found any more gems. Let's mine it a little bit. We've got a little bit of time now. We mine this way. See what we find. And this way. We will need a bunch of bedrooms. I'm not going to build these, but I'll mine these out. And expose more surface area, hopefully. No gems that way. I'm going to check if we have any more by going to body parts. We don't have any more muscle shells. So I'm going to create some rock crafts. We've got a whole bunch of boulders lying around, and we can make some crafts out of rocks. This is looking much better with the bins. We've got the doors for another set of bedrooms, so I'm going to jump back to our sleeping area. I found some gems here. I'm going to cut these out. And then what I'll do is I'll fill this up with a wall. So BN for construction, and then L for wall. I'm going to select material after placement, and I'm going to use the marble blocks. There we go. So we've got some more gems. I'm going to cut those for our trading caravan. 3, there we go. We've got 9 rough gems. I'm going to leave about 4, so I'm going to cut 5 more. Maybe 2 more. There we go. This time I'm going to press Z, bedroom, make sure multi-selected. I'm going to click and drag across. Don't have to wait for the doors to be created. You'll see it'll create 10 bedrooms. Done. And then the dwarves will come and claim the bedrooms. You can easily see how many of your dwarves don't have a bedroom by clicking on an empty bedroom, clicking the plus, and then everyone who has quarters will be highlighted here. Autosave. It's now early autumn. The caravan will soon be here. So I'm going to build another crafts out of granite. And I am going to queue up some rock crafts. And it's going to be 20 of them. For trading, you need a broker. You assign a broker the same way you assign the manager in the nobles, hotkey N, and broker. Let's have a look. I'm going to go with this fish dissector. He's an adequate negotiator, a competent persuader, and a competent judge of intent. This is going to be our broker. The broker will skill up over time. The better the skills, the more value you'll get out of your trades. While we're waiting, we might as well smooth out the bedrooms. Look at these dwarves crafting away. And here we have it, our first trade caravan. Although there is a grim reminder of the winter hardships to come, the supply caravan from the competitive sabers is a welcome sight. Their eyes are alight with anticipation of inspecting the splendid products of your industrious crafts dwarves. Take careful stock of your own stores. What these merchants offer might very well be the difference between a prosperous future and a slow and meaningless death. Okay, that's pretty ominous. I'm going to pause the game for now. The way trading works, you want to move the goods that you're going to trade to the trade depot. You click move goods to trade depot, and first thing I do is I go to bins, because a lot of our finished goods will be in bins. The gem bin, another finished goods bin. I don't normally trade away weapons unless I have a bunch of them. You can click through to see what's inside. The advantages of having things in bins is that your dwarves will make one journey usually to carry a bin, whereas with these they'll have to make multiple journeys. Wow, we've got some good quality cut gems here. Our first trade is going to be really cool. I'm just going to double check if there's anything else that I want to move and trade. Oh, what a coincidence, I just noticed some more gems here. Let's mine those out. Here it'll tell you the progress of all the things that you've selected and how many items you're still waiting for. Waiting for one more item. I see the diplomacy has come up. Your outpost will always get an outpost liaison, and they'll bring you news from the mountain home. Information added to the civilization's world info. Okay. And then basically they tell you can make a request. It's usually a good idea to request some things. I usually request a few toys in case we have some kid dwarfs show up later on. And in the beginning, I like to request some bags and some flasks made from some cheap material. Turkey, let's do turkey leather water skins, and some backpacks. Let's do alpaca leather backpacks. So they're going to need tan hides and prepared meals. Okay. But that's for next year. Okay. And the caravan has arrived, and they're offloading. All my items are here, so I'm just going to give them a little time to offload. There we go. It looks like they're offloaded, and I'm going to say broker requested a depot. So the broker will now make their way to the depot, and once they're there, you can click trade. Trading essentially works. You select the items you want from here, you provide your items here, and you keep an eye on the trader profit and make sure it goes green. Once it's green, the trader is happy to trade. So I'm just going to go over how I trade. In the beginning, you want kind of essentials. These will be nice to have later on. And if we've got some money, we might get one or two. A Drake would be good. Plus you get the cage. We came with some weapons. I like to pick up a pickaxe if we can get one for cheap. Definitely not the 1,000. I like to pick up some more seeds, especially plump helmet seeds. You get the bag, which is cool. It's good value. Leather I like to pick up for strange moods, along with cloth. There you go. I like to pick up all the meat I can get. I like to get another steel anvil if possible. All the fish. All the plump helmets. You want to trade as much as you can get away with, because that increases your migrant waves for the future. I'll pick up some thread. Yeah, these leather bags, quivers, the cheese. Another tip, you can hold shift and scroll to scroll page by page. Okay, and with that last click, I'm gonna hit trade. Very happy, great. I'm also gonna send a gift along to the king. Our final mug, offer as a gift. I'm sure the king will appreciate that. Then once that is done, I basically say no trader needed a depot, and the trader leaves. Then the dwarves will come through and unload this trade depot. Okay, and that's basically the basics of trading. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really happy about how much food we managed to get, honestly. I was a little worried, but with this food, it should last us the winter. Goodbye.